The ember is dying. Wind slams into the cave mouth. You throw your bare palm down on the coal to shield it. Hot skin against hotter rock. You hold it there. Because if this ember dies, the child dies. The mother dies. You die. For hundreds of thousands of years, this was an ancient human's job. Today you flick a lighter to light a cigarette you will toss in a puddle. Ancient humans would have killed you for that lighter. For most of the time our species has existed, humans on Earth did not know how to make fire from nothing. They only knew how to keep one alive, or how to carry one, and how they carried it is the strangest thing you have never been told. Inside a mushroom. But before we get to the mushroom, you need to understand what losing a fire actually meant. A wet human loses body heat 25 times faster than a dry one. In most of the world ancient humans lived in, a single night without fire below 50 degrees Fahrenheit was enough to kill a child. Fire cooked the food that made calories usable. Fire kept the predators out of the cave mouth. Fire was the only reason a species of soft-skinned, slow-running primates could hold ground against leopards. And here is what almost no one tells you. Archaeologists dig 300,000 years down at a cave called caveman and find charcoal, burned bones, hearthstones stacked in rings. At Wonderver Cave in South Africa, the evidence goes back closer to 1 million years. Ancient humans lived beside fire that long ago. But nothing they left behind proves they could make it. Controlling a fire that already exists and creating one from nothing are two completely different skills. And for most of human history, most people could only do the first. So if your fire died, you did not sit down and make a new one. You went to find someone else's. Picture this. A group 2 valleys over still has a fire. You send your fastest runner. He carries a pouch of dried tinder. He runs for a day and a half, sleeps once, and comes back with a smoldering coal in a wrap of green leaves. If he trips, if he falls in a river, if a predator catches him on the way home, the coal dies in his hand, and the cave dies behind him. Most fires in ancient human history were not made. They were captured. From lightning, from wildfires, from a neighbor's cave. And once captured, they had to be kept. So ancient humans engineered a way to never need a runner again. They learned to carry fire, not in a torch. Torches burn out in hours and give you away to every predator within a mile. What they needed was something that could hold a spark quietly for a day, maybe 2, without flame, without smoke, without going out. They found it growing on dead birch trees. A woody, hoof-shaped fungus called Fomes fomentarius, tinder fungus. You slice the inner flesh out, you beat it flat, you dry it, and when you press a smoldering ember into it, the fungus does something almost no other material in nature does. It holds the ember, it carries it. It smolders slowly inside itself for hours, and if you keep it packed and shielded, it can carry an ember all day. Ancient humans invented the biological lighter. If this is the kind of thing that changes how you see the world, subscribe. This is what this channel does. And we know this is not speculation because we found one. In 1991, hikers in the Ötzi Alps found the frozen body of a man who died 5,300 years ago. His name, the one we gave him, is Otzi. And in his belt pouch, alongside flint and a chunk of iron pyrite for striking sparks, they found dried Fomes fomentarius, prepared, packed, ready. Even 5,000 years ago, when ancient humans could finally make fire from scratch, losing your fire was still serious enough that a man crossing a mountain carried a dedicated backup system in his pocket, on his body, at all times. Now, once ancient humans finally cracked fire from scratch, one more problem stayed lethal. What do you do when the wood is wet? Because in most of the world, most of the year, the wood is wet. You look for birch. You peel a strip of pale, papery bark off a wet trunk. You shred it between your fingers, and you strike your flint into it. It catches. Soaked through, dripping, it still catches. Someone, tens of thousands of years ago, watched wet bark take a spark when nothing else would, and someone else remembered. The secret is a chemical in the bark called Betulin. It is oily. It repels water. It burns wet. Ancient humans figured this out, and it changed the survivable range of our entire species. Wherever birch grows, Humans could live year-round, which is why we ended up spreading north into forests that should have killed us. A lighter in your pocket is not a small thing. It is the end of an emergency that lasted almost 1,000,000 years. Every person you have ever loved is alive because at some point, some ancient human, cupping an ember inside a mushroom, refused to let it die. The next time you flick your lighter without thinking, remember what you are actually doing. You are ending a shift that lasted 1,000,000 years.